Trams. They first appeared in Manchester in 1877 and then continued to become the third largest tram network in Britain, connecting the metropolitan centre of Manchester to the suburbs, and even to separate towns like Oldham and Stockport. This massive tram network, though useful, fell out of favour in the 50s and 60s as the extremely low price of fuel and interest in trams fell with the introduction of trolleybuses and motorbuses, with the last tram line in Manchester being closed in 1949. Thanks to the historically bad connections between the two main rail centres of the city, Victoria and Piccadilly, the city was always looking for a solution to alleviate this issue of transit in the city centre. In the 60s, as a response to the looming issue of traffic congestion, studies were undertaken looking at several possible solutions, ranging from monorails to metro-style systems. Though these projects eventually caved, the interest in having a transit system in the city did not. In the early 80s, a new group with transit officials created new plans and proposals for a 62-mile tram system in the city, presenting this to the government for funding, which they received on the condition that the system would be constructed in phasings, and thus named it Metrolink. Construction of the Metrolink started in 1991 and included the conversion of two existing freight lines to accommodate light rail, with a street-level tramway through the city to connect them. The two lines were north and south of the city, independent of each other, and the line was officially opened by the Queen in 1992, with T68 trams as the main rolling stock for the network. Phase 2. As part of the regeneration of Salford Quays in the 1990s, the Metrolink was extended to Salford and was funded using a mix of private and public funding. This saw the introduction of 6 new T68A trams to aid with the operation and opened in 2001. Phase 3. Planned during the 2000s, this expansion of the Metrolink network would see the construction of 4 new lines. The Oldham and Rochdale line, the East Manchester line, the South Manchester line and the Airport line. Funding for the project would come from the council, government, fares, donations and grants. Those to ensure that funding for the phase would be sent by the government, it had to be split up into Section A and B. Phase 3A began construction in 2009 and would see the construction of the Oldham and Rochdale line and sections of the South and East Manchester lines to Droylsden and St Werburgh's. I have butchered them, I know. This expansion was particularly achieved by converting the Oldham Loop heavy rail line and the reuse of a section of the Cheshire Lines Committee Railway, and once opened in 2013, it increased the total length of Metrolink to 43 miles. At the same time, a small spur to the new Media City was made to better link the developing media centre of Manchester to Metrolink. Phase 3 began construction in 2011 and saw the completion of the South and East Manchester lines and also the construction of the new airport line. These final parts of the expansion opened quickly after Phase 3A in 2014. While Phase 3 was underway, Metrolink also started to receive their new units of M5000 trams from Bombardier to replace the ageing fleet of T68s. With the system becoming busier, the city centre connection between the north and the south needed to be upgraded to allow more services, and as a result, Phase 2CC began construction in 2014 and opened in 2017, providing more capacity using alignment from St Peter's Square tram stop via Princess Street, Albert Square, Cross Street and Corporation Street to rejoin the existing lines and provide additional capacity. Unlike the majority of cities in the north of England, Manchester has been able to use the old alignments, and the readoption of trams in the city has also allowed the city to create a now fundamental mass transit system, with good integration to other transit solutions like the trains and the buses of the region and the country. So where does Metrolink go next? In terms of planning, Transport for Greater Manchester, in their 2021 to 26 delivery plan, have outlined their aim to invest in 27 new trams which have been ordered and the renewal of their existing fleet. Transport for Greater Manchester has also continued to explore the feasibility of new lines, which will expand upon the existing network. A number of QoS features will also be introduced to make the system more appealing for commuters and ease usage overall. But the more interesting aspect is that research into the possibility of using tram-trains is being undertaken to determine the feasibility of them. If this is successful, it will allow the Metrolink system to fully integrate with the existing rail standard in and around the city, and would therefore exponentially better the network, as they would be able to be bimodal and compatible. Manchester, unlike other cities, is highly successful, and I'm somewhat jealous of the Metrolink system. By all means, it's not perfect, but its ability to continually expand and grow service while proving trams are a feasible solution for mass transit means that I rank it highly. Thanks for watching, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and have a good day.